50/50 tickets on sale, 1 for 1, 6 for 5 at arm span for $10. Get your 50/50 ticket. The drawing will be before the Super Series 100. Pace Truck pit side, Robert Amos Jr. and AJ Reidner coming to green off of turn number 4. 40 laps for the EDCO Welding CRA Street Stocks. Field bunching up and drivers changing lanes. Going into turn number 1, leading the field is Robert Amos Jr. Reidner has fallen into second. Jimmy Kirby on the bottom. The 11 car up to third. Running fourth, the 88 of Shelmadine, and Brian Hopkins moves into the number 5 position. Clean and green so far as they work into the final turn. Coming to lap number 1, for second, Kirby on the bottom and Reidner on the outside. Kirby racing with Reidner for the second spot. Running fourth is Hopkins in a battle for fifth. Carroll on the inside of Shelmadine. Shelmadine, a driver that we'll also see in the compact division. Jeff Lane looks for a 3-wide pass in turn 3. Lane finished third in the Sportsman. Trying to do well here. The points leader, some contact, but up into the number 5 spot. Bold move by Jeff Lane from 11th to 5th in 2 circuits. Jeff Lane into the 5th spot. Coming forward, Jason Thompson, the 28 car, from 10th up to 6th, follows him. Hopkins for third. Brian Hopkins in the 95 on the inside of Jimmy Kirby. Leading is Amos in the 67. Kirby on the outside lane, holding on to third, but challenging him, the 95 of Hopkins. Both of those cars closing on the 96 of Reidner. Amos slowly getting into turn 3, goes to a lower line than some of the drivers, and he's holding on to the lead over the first 4 circuits now, complete at Lucas Oil Raceway. Jeff Lane, after getting into the number 5 position, has been slowed somewhat by the traffic ahead. Made those bold moves to get to where he did. Bice, the top qualifier, who started beside Lane, is working forward as well. Bice to the outside of Jason Thompson. They both go to the outside of Jeff Lane. There's not going to be enough room for that coming off of the corner, and Bice will check up. Thompson goes to the outside of Lane. Lane goes to the bottom of Kirby. Kirby doesn't give him a whole lot of room down in turn number 2. Kirby trying to get underneath Reidner. Jeff Lane's going to pick up the spot from Jimmy Kirby. Lane moving up into the 4th spot, dives hard into the corner. Going to slide up beside the 96 of Reidner. Jeff Lane from 11th to 3rd. Big contact between the top qualifier, Dave Bice, and the 28 car of Jason Thompson. Brian Hopkins has caught the leader. Everyone continuing on in the right direction, as Bice will have to check up as Thompson kind of closed the door on him coming off of 2. And a change for the lead. Brian Hopkins has gone around the outside of Robert Amos and taken over the top spot on lap number 7. 7 complete at the line for new leader Brian Hopkins. The EDCO Welding CRA Street Stock Division on lap number 8 of the event. Jeff Lane in the 3rd spot. Check that. Make it 2nd. He's taken the spot away quickly in turn 3 from Robert Amos Jr. A lot of action in the top 10 right now, close to the top 5. We've got a side-by-side battle for 4th between Kirby and Reidner. Following them, Thompson and Bice. Bice gets around Thompson. Josh Poor, the runner-up in points. He's racing with the 33 of Mark Mason. Good racing action in the CRA Street Stock Division early on. And Bice has been caught in the pack a little bit, holding up the new track record holder. Jeff Lane trying to make a statement after having his track record taken away yesterday from him by the 71 of Bice. Is moving forward and closing quickly on the 95 of Hopkins. 2-car breakaway over the 67 of Amos. Side by side for 4th as Dave Bice runs the low side. of Jimmy Kirby. And Jeff Lane to the outside of Brian Hopkins for the lead. Side by side for the lead off of 4. And Jeff Lane will not quite take it away at the line. Hopkins by inches on lap number 10. But Jeff Lane will pull ahead coming off of turn number 2. And Jeff Lane from 11th, not quite giving up yet. Here comes Hopkins again. Side by side continues into 3. Jeff Lane out front. Back to second goes Hopkins. Third spot, the 67 of Amos. The 71 of Bice running in the 4th position. And 5th is Kirby. Kirby working pretty hard trying to get by the early leader. Oh, down in turn 1, the 34 of Hanna goes around. Nice job. Carl Muffley able to squeeze through. Caution for the first time in this EDCO Welding CRA Street Stock race. Caution for the first time in this event. 1 lap away from the halfway mark is for the 34 of Courtney Hanna. Cincinnati, Ohio driver has spun. Pace truck will drop into the pits this time. Jeff Lane, who finished 3rd in the late model sportsman event, leads right now. But has a couple of quick cars right around him with the 95 of Hopkins, who he passed for the lead on the inside. Then Thompson and Bison, that second row, picking up the pace, entering into turn 3. The field enters turn number 4. Green flag coming off of the final turn. 21 laps from the finish. And again, the outside lane will move forward into the first corner. Actually, Thompson then slipped up a little bit going into turn 1 in that second lane, so he drops to 4th. Lane leads down the backstretch. Jeff Lane, the point leader out front. A little bit of contact mid-pack between Carl Muffley and A.J. Reidner. Muffley has picked up about 10 positions since the start of the race from the back. Leading the 73 of Lane, starts to pull away again from Brian Hopkins up to about 4 car lengths back straightaway. Dave Bice, who's 3rd, looks for a way around Brian Hopkins. If he ever gets into that second spot, it'll be a battle between the top 2 veteran drivers. 21 complete, 19 to go past the halfway mark. Bice looking high on Hopkins. Hopkins able to hold him off, close the door on the backstretch. Single file throughout the field, other than Larry Lathan's off the pace in the 58. Also slowing is Dustin Sapp in the 121, turns left onto the infield on the backstretch. So he's done for the day. Courtney Hanna in the 34, who spun under the last green flag run, bring out our first caution. A little bit of smoke coming out of her 34 car. Josh Poore in the 27, making a move on the 11 of Jimmy Kirby, and Josh Poore is now in the top 5. Jeff Lane's lead continues to grow, and Dave Bice has not been able to get around the 95 of Hopkins yet. Would like to get there before Lane gets away too far. Also would like to be there before the possible next caution if one arises, and Bice does get to the inside of Hopkins on the front stretch. Will he drive hard into turn 1? He does. He goes to the bottom, slides up the track. Nearly some contact, but not quite. Dave Bice will take second away from the 95 of Brian Hopkins. Bice quicker yesterday in qualifying than Jeff Lane. Lane had the track record until Dave Bice took it away yesterday. They were the top 2 in qualifying. They're the first 2 in the race, with Bice trying to close on Jeff Lane. Bice running in the second spot behind Lane. Running third is Hopkins. Fourth is Thompson. Fifth is Poor. Sixth Kirby. Seventh Amos. Running eighth the 33 of Mark Mason. Ninth right now the 68 of Schaefer. And running 10th the 64 of JP Crabtree. Six laps to go for Jeff Lane. Again, top qualifier. Dave Bice running second, but not closing quite quick enough, I don't think, to where his car would be strong enough to make a challenge at Lane. He's about 8 car lengths behind Jeff Lane. Closing a little bit here and there, though. 5 laps to go this time. 5 to go for Jeff Lane. Jason Drummond, the Gibsonburg, Ohio driver in the 77, has slowed. He will turn left into the pits on the backstretch. He's done. The lead has been cut to about 4 car lengths, 3 car lengths, maybe even less coming off of turn 4. Lane's car, the handle may be starting to go away on that 73 a little bit towards the end. 4 laps to go. I think Bice will get there. Will he have enough to get around him? That's the question. One thing Jeff Lane does not want to see is a caution to put himself side by side with Bice. Having the lead, he'll be in the driver's seat to take the best lane away from Dave Bice. There's 1 caution up to this point over the first 37 now. Laps complete at the line. Pretty far back in the field, Courtney Hanna and Frankie Oakes battle for 12th. So Carl Muffley all over the 64 of JP Crabtree. Coming up next, the Vors Welding and Steel Compact 20, followed by the CRA Super Series 100, the final race of the day here at Lucas Oil Raceway. 2 to go, and the lead has stabilized for Jeff Lane. Bice was closing, and now Lane looks like he may have picked it up a notch. White flag is in the air. Final circuit of the Fall Brawl 40 for the EDCO Welding CRA Street Stocks. Jeff Lane's lead has grown over the last couple of laps. They'll race back to the checker. Jeff Lane lead during the turns, about 7 car lengths. Jeff Lane from Knightstown, Indiana, started this race in the 11th position. The Richmond Performance Scooter Chevrolet. The Acre Racing Team leading the event, coming off of 4th win of the season in this division for Jeff Lane. Finishing second, top qualifier Dave Bice. 3rd spot to Brian Hopkins. Finishing 4th, Jason Thompson. The 5th spot to Josh Poor. Coming home 6th will be Jimmy Kirby. 7th on back will be the 67 of Amos. 8th is Mason. 9th is Schaefer. 10th is Hanna. At the line, Crabtree spins toward the infield, as the race will end at the checkered flag, but only 1 caution during the course of the EDCO Welding Street Stock feature. Jeff Lane wins. A word with the top 5 in moments.